Welcome to the 2021 and 22 NBA season. It kicks off tonight with the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. These two teams are captained by the two biggest global stars in the game today, Stephen Curry and LeBron James.
We have an absolute spectacle on our hand tonight, lads. I'm keen to deep dive into this one.
What an opening night. Going to be a belter. Cannot wait.
I've played 2K too many times. I want the real thing, and we're about to have it.
Yes, we are. With me tonight, I have Jake, Daniel, and Alex. Now, we'll be going through a range of topics. First, we'll deep dive into the matchups.
Yeah, we've gone through our own little starting lineup, and we reckon for the Lakers, it's going to be Westbrook, Ellington, LeBron, Davis, and Jordan. I feel like I don't think Anthony Davis is going to be playing the five at all this year, especially with the recruits. I'll bring back Howard and bring in DeAndre Jordan. So I think Davis is primed for a season just solely at the power forward. And for the Warriors, we have Curry, Anderson, Wiggins, Green, and Looney Tunes. So it's going to be an interesting game, especially because Klay Thompson's not going to be back till around January. So, everyone loves this matchup. We know the rivalry, and we're in for a good one tonight.
Yes, we are. Rivalry indeed. After a shortened off-season, the teams entered tonight with a couple of new faces. Dan touched on them, but first we'll deep dive into one of the biggest stories of the game, and that is LeBron James versus Stephen Curry. Now, we've seen them face off 4 times in the finals before. Steph's walked away with 3 rings. And who can't forget that 3-1 comeback with the Cavs? LeBron was on a roll that year. Their rivalry was shaped a little bit differently last year, though, with the play-in tournament, which left Steph holding the L against the Lakers before they were injury-riddled and the players were cut short. But they're looking to come back healthy and stronger than ever. Now, it appears with the additions of Russ Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, DeAndre Jordan, Kent Bazemore, Rajon Rondo, Kendrick Nunn. I'm short of breath. It looks like they've added an entire league to their squad. But the Lakers are reloaded and ready to follow up their 2020 championships. But the Warriors aren't far behind at all. As we mentioned, Klay will be returning shortly after Christmas, but they've also re-signed the LeBron stopper, Andre Iguodala, the former finals MVP. Dan, one of your favorite players. What do you have to say about him rejoining the mob?
Yeah, we saw him leave Miami, and it's a big loss for Miami, a bit of a hole in the defense, but him coming back to the Warriors, it's his place, it's his home. He's won the championship there, finals MVP there. He loves playing with LeBron. He loves the big stage. I reckon he's going to thrive back being at the Warriors.
Definitely. And you know what? It could be another reason that his jersey gets retired at the Warriors after the rings, the finals MVP, the rivalry. We could actually see his jersey in the rafters.
How do you envision this looking with you three on the court?
For one, I've heard it before. When I decided to go to Miami, the first thing they said was LeBron and D-Wade don't mix. There's no way they could play together. They too ball dominant. They can't shoot the ball from the perimeter. It's not going to work. They're two similar players. So, we know what happened with that. You make it work. You figure it out. I know what Russ brings to the table. He know what I bring to the table. And when you got a unicorn like AD, he fits into anything. They said that, me and AD wouldn't work when we traded for him. So, I don't really get it caught up in the narrative at this point. That's all part of just trying to sell tabloids. I'm 19 years in this thing, so I know what it's all about. So the game is won in between the 4 lines, and it's not one on paper. It's not one in the news clippings on, the bottom ticker. It's one in between these 4 lines, 94 feet. So, we got a job to do, and we'll do it.
Obviously, Melo and Westbrook just got traded to the Lakers in a bit of a do-or-die effort for that championship. Do you reckon they can do it, Peter, or what's it going to take?
I do think this is Melo's last shot. 17 years in the game. He was drafted the same year as LeBron. It's only right that they team up and get it done. Whereas Russell Westbrook versus LeBron in his finals in 2012 and lost. I think everyone's put him down as just a stat chaser, a stat patter, but it's time that he gets something on the board, something for the legacy. He's got too many triple doubles to leave the game without a ring. So I definitely think this is the year and also the right place for him to do it back in his hometown of LA.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of his game and all the triple doubles, how do you think it will work, Jake?
Well, it's going to be tough because, last season we saw that LeBron was transitioning more into a ball facilitator. I mean, I think he won the assists record last season, if I'm not incorrect there. So it's virtually 2 facilitators and 1 big man, along with a lot of role players. So I think his numbers will go down. We won't see as many triple doubles, but I mean, like I said, Russell Westbrook is a class player, and we'll probably see similar stat line to his Houston days, maybe with a few less points due to AD's production, which is just top of the table. Okay, so bringing it back to tonight's game that's due to be played, where do you see the Warriors finding a way to win this game?
Well, they're going to have to score a lot of points. We know that, especially losing Clay, their second best scorer on the team. This is a game where Curry's going to have to lift. I can see him, he's going to need to drop 50 points, I reckon. And he's going to need someone like Andrew Wiggins to help him scoring. It's just, I don't see them getting a winning score because I just feel like the Lakers are too powerful with like the recruits they've got and just the scoring prowess they've got on their team. So personally, I don't see the Warriors winning, but if they do, it's going to take, I reckon they're going to have to score at least 130, 140 points. And like with the defense that the Lakers have got, I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, 100%. And, to make things even worse for the Warriors, I mean, obviously we know about the Wiseman injury, Wiggins with his, issues off court. Draymond Green's obviously not progressed and de-progressed, I guess is the right word for it. And Klay Thompson out until January, as reports say. On top of all of that, Steph Curry as well has not hit a 30-plus point game against the Lakers since the 23rd of November 2016. So it is a big moment for him, being obviously almost 5 years since that game has occurred. And maybe just that matchup against Russell Westbrook might be the difference in breaking that streak and, putting up a big score.
Now we're going to move into overtime, lads. So what's at stake, Dan?
What's at stake? I want to know start. A good start to the season. A win gets the team chemistry up. Something for the Lakers, that's the perfect start that they need.
I think it's bragging rights. I mean, we've seen them fight in the finals plenty of times. And Curry and LeBron, they have their own little personal rivalry between each other. I think it means a lot to each of them if they get off to a 1-0 start, especially if the Warriors win in Lakerland.
Yeah, 100%. And, I'm the same. Like, bragging rights for any first game of the season, I think, having that long off season, you want to prove your point first game. And, in such a big game like this, especially with the Warriors, Steph Curry losing in that playoff tournament against LeBron last season, it's just, that little extra edge in terms of, feeling confident for the rest of your season.
Yeah, definitely have to agree with that. So you sort of answered my next question already. How does it shape the season? So I'll seg that way into where do you think both these teams are going to finish up at the end?
I can see the Lakers being 1 or 2 seed in the West. Just the amount of talent they have on their team, there's nothing that is kind of can't really stop them. I feel like their biggest competition is really the Nets in the East, but they'll come by in the finals. But I feel like they should easily get to the conference finals. And for the Warriors, I think if they're able to be up near the top when Clay comes back, that'll be very interesting viewing. So I reckon they could be a top 4, top 5 seed.
Yeah, agreed. Bar injury, I see the Lakers definitely being a top 3 seed. Warriors, on the other hand, I see him, Joel sting around that 8 or 9 area until Clay comes back. And then once he's there, they'll find some rhythm about 10, 15 games after. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm very much the same with the Lakers, top 3 seed. I mean, the depth's amazing and their star power is still there despite their age. With the Warriors, I'm a little bit more pessimistic though. I'm going to have a few issues with how Andrew Wiggins fits into the rotation, with him being in and out every single game by these current reports. However, I'd suggest, even though, by the time that Clay comes back around January, they'd probably be, slipping around that 10, 11 seed. I could still see them, just getting into that final 8 seed spot, even though there is playoff play-in tournaments.
And that's it for overtime. Certainly had a few bold predictions to end it there. Now we look forward to what is sure to be a cracking 2021-22 NBA season. Lads, thank you very much for your inputs and can't wait for this game.